Beautiful.
Anything else here, Watchley?
No, anything here? Patty, you want to say anything else?
Nope.
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 We are good.
Good to go.
Good to go.
Thank you, pilot.
So we're seeing more of these platy sponges that are probably lithisted sponges. And I'm going to just, again, take a venture a guess that it's in the family Corallistidae. Lots of them. Really cool. Some of them, though, might not be lithisted sponges. They might be other sponges that are related and that Chris Kelly talked about a little bit earlier in the family Pachystrelidae.
So what does HIPAC say is uphill now? Because I appear to be looking.
It says you're flat, but to the right would be.
Yeah. So you rotate to me then, because I've got this in my sonar.
I'm rotating starboard to D2.
It's a little bit different topography than we saw earlier on. We are at a depth of 511 meters.
Want to set me out a little further on my sonar, and we'll make sure that this continues up. Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, seafloor is much smoother
much
here.
Smoother.
Yeah, and many fewer of those cracks with the rugose or rough surfaced projections out of those cracks.
Yeah.
Right.
Bruce Mundy points out there's not a lot of shelter for fish here either.
Right,
so
absolutely.
we're not seeing so many of the, in fact, I don't see any of the green eyes that we saw just a few meters down slope.
Copy that.
Nope.
She can make it, make it like 40. We'll just stop if there's anything
Oh, and there is a beautiful jelly something floating through the water.
Probably bioluminescent.
We're going to go at 3.
It looks like it might be
Siphonophore.
It looks like it, boy.
They are just amazingly amorphous animals. Look at this.
Kind of gooey.
Yeah, if you can go ahead
That
and
life
Could be
can
just sea
use.
snot.
Yeah.
It's like sea snot to me. Bioluminescent sea snot. That was a real
Technical
professional
term.
technical term. Where's the abbreviation for that?
SNT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. We want to look at the coral.
Yeah,
She
move
wants
him
to look
me,
at the
I guess.
coral.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I was
moving
to me first. So yeah, 30 meters, like, is that due north?
It's more like 55.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here we're back in areas with these projections of sort of rugose, rough sort of
So Sean, you just face me.
seafloor that the sponges just love. So, with hiding places for fish, do we see any fish? They like these overhangs for protection from predators, right?
Weird again to Sirius. Okay. So now if you move him at like 0.15, 30 meters. So. And I think while we were talking, Sirius started moving away because I was just hanging out here.
So as we travel along and while we're moving, if you folks would like to switch channels to the Sirius view, that's the vehicle that is above the remotely operated vehicle, then you can get frequently get a regional view of what the topography looks like, you know, the distribution of sponges or corals or crinoids on the seafloor. It's a wonderful thing to give you some perspective of what the whole area looks like that we're traversing.
Pilot, when we get, if you get in position to get a zoom and close up of one of those the fans, the yellow sea fans, yellow corals, we'd appreciate that, please.
These crinoids here?
I think there's one on lower left of lasers. Lower left of this.
Yeah, not the crinoids, but the coral.
Okay. Oh, I think I see them below there. Yep.
Now there's some of that stuff that stuff, for want of a better
Stuff.
term. Nobody
Right
knows what this
on.
stuff is.
Probably colonizing D2 right now.
And
Yeah, probably. You guys are going to have a nice time cleaning it up. Oh, but then we'll be able to identify it. It'll be an unofficial sample. Ha! It doesn't count as a biology sample.
so for folks who are interested in our sampling policy, we try not to disturb the areas that we're traversing too much. We do want to take minimal sampling just to characterize either species that seem to be, the most dominant species in a region, or something that's brand new in terms of biology. And for geologic samples, again, we want to do a representative sample of what we think the overall seafloor makeup is.
Okay, so this is the same as one that we saw earlier. Okay, Roland, that's good whenever you're done.
Okay, let's go full image.
All right. We do have lasers on, I think, if we want them after.
Yes, lasers are on. Do you want them off?
No, we'll get them on
Okay,
the base.
pointing out the lasers.
Okay.
And video's clear.
All right. Sirius is on the move towards me.
Yes, on the move. Coming at ya.
So yeah, what's HIPAC look ahead of us now?
It's basically flat until we get.
Okay. Oh, we're kind of at the top. Unless we're
Yes.
sticking down.
Well, we will be shortly if we're not already.
Gotcha. That explains
But that's
why.
less. These are 10-meter contours.
Yeah. All right. I'll look around this area, and Sirius is moving towards me.
Really diverse faunal community here. Different types of sponges. We've got the corals, the crinoids. We're seeing some of the green eyes again.
So the sponges are the white things,
Sponges
and
are
the
the
sort
white
of
and the kind of cream
tan,
colored.
yellow
Yes,
things are the crinoids, and the corals come in all different colors. We just saw a beautiful purple coral.
Which is changed.
We had seen a pink one immediately before. That was called bubblegum
is it?
coral.
Maybe there's a fish on its side. I don't see it
Okay.
anymore.
Okay, how's that move proceeding?
The 30 meters.
Yeah.
We are a little more than halfway through it.
Okay, great.
There it is.
And now that we have more crevices in which the
There's the fish.
Yeah.
fishes can hide, we're seeing more of the green eyes as well.
So it's interesting that here we have both a slabby surface off to the right, and right in the middle and to the left of the screen we have projections of very rough surfaced material. And what all this stuff is, we would not know until we get a piece of it back on board the ship. We do have one rock sample that we collected a little earlier that is from an area of the more slabby sort of material.
So I have a feeling soon we'll be at the top and there'll be nothing on either sonar. So we'll just have to follow HIPAC.
This is Patty Fryer from the University of Hawaii. I'm the geology lead. Shirley Pomponi is our biological lead. And one of the things I'm finding as a geologist amazing about this dive is that when we had collected bathymetry data over this ridge that we're on, which is on the flank of Farallon de Medinilla Island in the northern part of the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas. We have looked at the bathymetry and just seen a real smooth seafloor, and here we are with total complexity.
Just about right.
This is the fascinating thing about getting down here on the bottom with remotely operated vehicles or submersibles, to take a closer look.
And I think and this is Shirley Pomponi, for those of you who are just joining us. I'm from Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute, Florida Atlantic University. Most of my work has actually been on the other side in Atlantic, Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico. So, but being able to dive in the Mariana Trench has been a dream of mine. It's been on my bucket list for many, many, I could say even decades. So I'm really excited to see this habitat. I participated in leg 1 remotely from the comfort of my dining room, actually, because it was late at night on the East Coast. So it's really exciting to be out here and seeing this now in Guam time instead of at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, East Coast time. So
Shirley was staying up, till like 2 in the
2
morning.
o'clock in the morning some mornings. Yeah, it was
sitting in her jammies,
sitting in my jammies, watching.
Glued to the screen.
Yeah.
We're still moving at 015.
So we're about 3.5 meters above the seafloor right now. That's why the image that you're looking at is so dark. But we will get back down as soon as the pilots get over this there's a little rise that they're moving over.
So you can see, if you look at the view from the Sirius, you can actually look down and see D2, Deep Discover, and how it's being maneuvered.
So watch lead, this is pilot.
Yep, go ahead, watch lead. Go ahead, pilot. I'm the watch lead.
Based on our sonars and what we see on the cameras, and it agrees with HIPAC, we're at the top of the local rise now. And we're going to move towards waypoint 2. It'll be slightly downhill, so everything will be blue.
Right.
Roger that.
We'll see some rocks a bit, but it'll look about like this because the ground's going to be sloping away from the cameras and lights.
Yep, understood.
That's great. Thank you.
So the way the ROV, and in fact with all my experience with manned submersibles as well, the way we like to work is we go to a deeper point and work upslope. We don't like to work downslope. So we try and, when we have these areas where it's a little bit of a bump and it goes a little bit deeper, what we do is just fly over that area, sometimes then bounce down to the deeper area. But we don't want to be working downslope and get snagged on things, get too far away from Sirius. And so we're getting over there now. You can see, again, a really nice viewpoint is looking down from the Sirius down to the Deep Discover. You can see how it's being maneuvered.
Bridge, ROV nav.
ROV nav, this is Bridge.
We are ready for the next move. It's going to be 40.
Go in video.
340 degrees, 0.2 knots.
Oh, what is that thing in the water column?
Okay,
It's got
so I'm
dots.
copying 40 meters, 34002.
Okay, biologist on shore. What are we looking at?
I'll have to let it go.
Oh, nobody's answering. Okay, another mystery floated out of view. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Engineers. A siphonophore.
So the current is still from west-southwest, but it's a lot lighter.
Copy. Looks like our current on surface is about the same. Yeah, it looks like it just must be a ground. Sheltered.
All right, so the ship is underway.
Ship is underway.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Gee, even as we're going down this slope, it's not a terribly steep slope, but you can still see that the seafloor is incredibly rough here, which again, this is a surprise to me. And probably because the currents are so strong up here. We've been seeing sea pens and some unidentified as yet material clinging to corals and clinging to sponges and being sort of whipped along in the current. There's very little sediment up here. It's just been anything that dies in the water column and falls down and collects on the seafloor just gets swept off in this fairly strong current. And as we descend, we can still see that the seafloor is rough with individual rocks sort of scattered over the seafloor that have fallen off the probably the associated little ledges that we've been seeing. And any place that there's a prominence seems to be just covered with sponges and crinoids and corals that are getting their dinners from the animals in the currents that are floating by. You can see a little fish over on the left-hand side.
Video quick zoom.
Zoom in.
A little green eye.
Video's clear.
All right, go wide.
As a geologist, I am fascinated with the collection of loose rocks on the seafloor here. Talus is what we call collections of debris that fall off a cliff somewhere. So I am thinking there must be a cliff somewhere nearby that has produced all of this stuff. The alternative, because we are diving on the slopes of what is an currently inactive volcano on the island arc of the Mariana system, which produces volcanoes sort of about 200 kilometers west of the trench axis as a result of the Pacific Plate being subducted and fluids that are essentially distilled from the Pacific Plate as it goes down deeper into the earth, into the deeper part of the mantle. Those fluids that are released at depths of 80 to 100, 120 kilometers or so reduce the melting point of the hot mantle rocks, which are not molten, but they are hot. And if you add water to them, they will melt to form magmas. So they come up through cracks in the overlying mantle and crust and erupt on the seafloor to make these volcanoes of the island arc. So when this thing was active, it is entirely possible that individual eruptions could spew, large chunks of rock out into the atmosphere and distribute them around the flanks of the volcano. Not saying that all of these might be that sort of thing, but the fact that there's such a lot of loose rock on the surface indicates there's got to be some source nearby that is producing a talus pile that's distributed on the flanks of this volcano. The bathymetry that we've been looking at the end of this dive ends in the peak of a ridge that extends out kind of like an arm from the main edifice. And above that is a fairly steep slope. We're not going to be able to get to that, but it's possible that some of this material may, in the past, have been deposited as a result of seafloor erosion and big masses of talus just slipping down off the flank of the volcano. And
Yeah, there's not much on this. It's not just
And we're
going
seeing
down.
a lot more of this
Jellyfish.
white encrusting sponge communities
Okay, video.
along the tops of some of the ridges.
I'm
And
facing to the current, so
here is another jellyfish that just floated by the ROV.
So that's Roland, and he's suggesting that maybe talk about what you're seeing in the different cameras right now.
Okay. If you folks take a look at the Sirius view, you can see the ROV. You can also see the tether streaming off from the top of the ROV. It's that faint rope-like feature. The ROV is pointing. It's pointing at 246 degrees, which is kind of south west.
That's another siphonophore.
And we just saw a siphonophore. How cool. I'm looking at the Sirius view, which gives us the ROV picture, but you can see the cable going off to the bottom right-hand side of the Sirius screen.
how far have we gone in these two?
The current's pushing pretty hard
10
for
meters.
that
we have
umbilical to
we
be
have
pushing
40
so
meters
far
left.
off into that
Okay.
direction. You can't really
Yeah.
tell it in the ROV view as the ROV is currently
yeah, let's
basing
speed it up
into
to
the current.
0.3.
The currents are so strong here that the cable that you're seeing
ROV nav.
is just really being
ROV
pushed
nav
off to the
bridge.
side.
Let's go ahead and pick up our
From the
speed
ROV.
to 0.3 knots.
0.3 knots. Picking up speed now.
Good copy.
So that's the looking sideways of our motion,
Not as much
looking
going on right now.
outwards.
This is really kind of starts probing people on shore to talk about some of with those of you who are just joining us.
Mhm.
Just want to talk to us we're a few hours away from the end of our dive.
Yeah, it's kind of flat to downhill. It's not totally
Okay,
downhill.
folks on shore, while we're settling down here and getting ourselves ready,
It's an inflection.
I wonder if we
look
could
at him.
maybe
Video, you
get
wanna zoom?
Chris to give us a summary of why we're here, what we're doing, what this dive is about.
Where to go?
I'll keep
Can you
creeping
guys
ahead to
repeat
get my
who just
lights
asked
on.
for a
Maybe
zoom?
after we take a look at the fish.
There's a fish way off in the distance. We're currently partially zoomed in on the ROV.
You see it?
So there is a fish way off in the distance, and we're
this-
going to take a look.
This fish is it's called an Alfonsino, and it's in the genus Barracks. And I don't know if Bruce Mundy is still on the line here or not. Right now, it looks like something that we call Barracks decadactylus.
Yeah, no, see
Um,
that. Thank you.
So these are commercially valuable fish species in some places in the world. I just don't know about whether there's an active fishery here in Sinamai. But it was a good spot. This is an important fish.
We will keep getting closer, video.
Yeah.
This is Bruce.
Thanks.
According to Eric Cruz, who works for us for NOAA Fisheries over in Guam, there is not an active fishery for these in Guam. Fishermen might catch them incidentally if they're fishing deep for the snappers, but they are important in trawl fisheries at seamounts in different places of the world. And in some of the seamounts up toward the Ogasawara Islands and Bonin Islands north of the Marianas, where there are fisheries out of Japan that do trawl fishing. The Beryx decadactylus is one of 3 species in the genus. The other 2 are more slender-bodied. This one's a little deeper bodied. The other 2 are very similar to each other. We only have Beryx decadactylus and Beryx splendens in Hawaii, but there is a 3rd species, Beryx mollis, that occurs over in the western Pacific. That species hasn't been recorded in the Marianas before. But I agree with Chris that this is Beryx decadactylus.
Well, thank you very much.
So using that as a segue, Chris, you had proposed this dive site based on some NOAA fisheries priorities. So would you mind talking a little bit about that for the people at home who've just joined us?
I think I'm wandering off here.
Sure. I'm putting words in their mouths because mostly they're expressing interest in doing some dives off of FDM, which is where we are now. But I think there's 2 reasons. One of them is they do have some commercial catch data and some fishing survey data throughout the islands here in CNMI, and this is a spot that has some larger catch numbers associated with this bank. So they are catching a fair number of bottom fish here. That's a little further up slope a little bit. But so that was part of the reason they're interested in this bank. And then the second reason is there are military practice activities that are occurring around FBM, and there was interest in seeing what, if any, effects those activities might be having on the seafloor. This particular dive, this isn't really getting into the bottom fish fishery depths. It's in precious coral depths. We're not going to get up to 400 meters. But that's a general interest of the management agencies here at CNMI, is to document the presence of precious corals. And that actually may be important if there was some type of military or fishing debris as well here. We have, I have not seen any type of debris whatsoever on this dive so far. So those are some of the objectives for the site.
Thank you, Chris. So we're doing a little bit of a change out here. So life goes on out here on the ship. It's lunchtime here. It's 11:30 Chamorro Standard Time. I just went and had some delicious coconut shrimp. This is Shirley, and Patty is just going down now to have some lunch as well. So we got some interesting information from Asako Matsumoto from Japan. She said the Japanese eat Beryx splendens. The fish that we saw just a couple minutes ago.
North, 000, 0.2 knots.
200002.
Good copy.
We finally are at plus 60 beginning.
Can't hear anything.
Right
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Now this is watch lead. What is our bottom time today?
Starfish, bottom left, one off screen.
Watch leader, are we still planning to finish early?
So I guess I can make a couple more comments about what we've seen so far today. We haven't really gone a very far distance yet on this dive, and also we haven't really traversed very much change in depth.
So 210.
But one of the things we see with some communities here, and some that are reasonable density to high density, which this one I would couch, at least in some places, as a very reasonable density community, is that you can often find a lot of a few things but you don't have necessarily a very large amount of diversity. And by that, what I mean is these sponges that we're seeing, these ribbon sponges all over the rocks, we're seeing lots and lots of these ribbon sponges, and we're seeing some of these crinoids or feather stars, the yellow or flower-like things. And we're seeing a few corals on the bottom as well. So we're seeing a lot of animals, but a lot of them are the same animals. We're not seeing a huge diversity here. And one of the things that a lot of researchers are interested in figuring out is why we see this in plenty of places, and how do these communities form. And one hypothesis is that a particular species gets established somewhere, and be it sort of like a pioneer colony or a number of colonies that colonize an area, and their reproductive strategy allows them to sort of spread out from that initial batch of pioneers, and they have very localized recruitment in the surrounding area, and so you build up a large number of animals over the bottom in a fairly small area. And that may be what we're seeing here with these sponges.
Okay, what we're looking at right now is a ctenophore, and you can see it flashing, those bioluminescent flashes in the water column.
And let it turn, I guess. Or relax the auto
Sirius is getting off. We don't see D2 on Sirius anymore.
Yep. Yeah, he's pulling my tether.
Copy that.
Which he's aware of.
Yep. Could you not hear me? Because I said I was saying something before.
Yeah, he's going down now. All right. For what?
All right. You guys scoot back.
Oh, okay.
To your
Okay.
port side.
Yeah, I'll go port and back before I hand off.
Okay, Roger.
Come down just a hair more here.
Good flying.
Thanks. Good suggestion.
Tell where we are in the transect. Yeah.
That last move was due north, so
yeah,
just about lined up.
Okay. Still working my way over.
Still a lot of current, or has it settled out a bit?
It's kind of settled. It's still roughly from east, south, slightly south of east.
It's coming from the southeast?
Yeah. Sorry, it's coming from the west.
Southwest, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just settle in real quick.
No worries, take your time.
Okay.
Tell me when you're ready.
Yep.
Okay, I think if you tilt your camera down a bit and turn a little to starboard, you'll see me, co-pilot.
Okay.
Yeah, watch lead. That was a pretty short move, so
there you are.
Okay. I think the Sirius sled is in position here, so we're holding our station right now.
Sorry, Nav, were you talking to me?
Yeah, the ship's in position and the sled's in position, and we're holding position right here.
Hear what's going on here.
Okay.
Because nobody's talking.
How far into the transect we are?
Oh, to get to waypoint 2?
Yeah, co-pilot, keep tilting down. If you look at
only 55 meters from waypoint 2.
I'm coming up a bit.
There we are.
There's 3 total waypoints today. Waypoint 3 is up here. I'll show you.
Mission zoom in as he's passing. Co-pilot.
Not right now. Oh, sorry.
All right. I think now we're in a good spot to
we're
trade off.
300 meters from waypoint 3 to our final destination for the day.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. No, not necessarily.
So
I just lost. There we go.
Sorry, pilot. I hit black balance instead of white balance.
All right, I think we're settled out. I think that last ship move is complete.
Welcome, Pilot Jeff.
Okay, so what's happening right now is there's a crew change. The pilot, co-pilot, navigator is changed out, and we're just waiting for them to get repositioned.
Yeah, watch lead, this is pilot.
Yep, go ahead, watch lead.
Yeah, we
mean,
just
pilot.
finished changing out 3 of the front row here. Just to introduce real quick, we got Levi on nav at the left, and then me to his right, Jeff. To my right, Dan, co-pilot. Rolly's still over there on video, and we're all with Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration, and we're ready to go exploring.
Okay, thanks very much. And I think we've seen a lot of what's in this area, so we're ready to pick up the pace a little bit, keep moving on. We've got, I think the navigator told us we had about 300 meters to make it to this final waypoint. Yeah, the final waypoint. And we're more than halfway through our dive, so I think we can pick up the pace a little bit. And for the shore-based scientists, you see anything that looks particularly promising, just go ahead and make a request either on the phone or in the chat room, and then I'll, Patty and Casey and I will take a look at that, see where we are, and communicate that request to our pilots.
All right, good. Pilot, you settled in?
I'm getting there,
Okay.
but I'll start pushing ahead on 340, is it?
Yeah, he's very...
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I selected waypoint 3
Okay.
to bearing.
Right, because I was talking to
I think we're
the...
going
Right.
to follow the ridge here, stay at the local
Yep.
high, work our way to waypoint
Got it.
2, and then move on to waypoint 3, which is roughly the same heading. So yeah, we want to kind of go high packs looking like 330 degrees,
All right.
340 degrees. So yeah, you're looking in the right direction.
It's an unusual block of rock in this
I've
series
got
view.
Sirius looking at 340.
Okay. Ship's in position, sleds settled out nicely, so
Yep.
once you're happy, then we can start making moves.
Let me just take a look at this rock that caught Rolly's eye here. Yep, that's a rock.
Yep, it's a rock.
Looks over out of place here, doesn't it, scientists?
Yes, it does. It's kind of large.
Any interest, or just keep cruising?
I'd say just keep cruising.
Cruising we are.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Say we go ahead and put that ship move in.
Yeah, let's...
How far are you comfortable jumping here? Looks like we've been doing, is a 30-meter move comfortable?
That sounds good. How
Yeah.
far? How stretched out am I?
Oh, you got plenty of tether, but I imagine we're going to move pretty quickly over this.
Yeah, he's looking down at you at 56 degrees.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a 30-meter move. I'm good with
30
that.
meters coming up.
0.2.
Yep.
Okay.
Does 340 seem happy?
Yeah, 340 is fine.
Okay.
Our depth is 512 meters.
Bridge,
Moving
are we
along the
now?
bottom.
Go ahead, Nav.
We're ready for another ship move. 30 meters.
We're now in a
bearing
relatively
340
smooth area,
degrees,
so not
0
seeing those
decimal 2
like
knots.
plates of rocks that we saw earlier in the dive.
Confirm that. That was 30 meters, 340, 0.2.
No, it's not.
Good copy, Bridge.
Okay, we're moving.
Fine.
Have we seen one of those today?
We have not. We should image it.
Okay. Go full wide, please. Thank you.
Okay. Yep, okay. So the pilots have spotted an octopus. They're going to go in for a little bit closer look. You can see it crawling along your screen right in the center of the video now.
Lasers on, please, co-pilot.
Lasers on, pilot.
He's going to...
Thank you.
He sees us coming.
There we go.
I think you can float that.
I can, yeah, I'll try to float this. Go ahead and go in partial. Okay, hold that, thanks.
So if you follow Ocean Explorer on Facebook, every Friday there's a picture that goes out that it's for Octopus Friday.
Yeah, that one's
So this is a perfect
this is
way.
So it's Octopus Friday.
It is Octopus Friday right now, and we have a live Octopus for Friday.
Take this long to come back though.
So every Friday on the Ocean Explorer website and in Facebook we feature an octopus. So this one's today's.
Hot off the press.
He's coming to attack. Better back
You're
up.
full wide.
Thank you. Yeah, he's trying to crawl underneath us.
Yeah. So what we were thinking was just floating green algae,
We can get a much better image of that.
hooking on to other things that were sticking up. We're seeing some of that now attached to the bottom.
Sure is.
Try. Rolling. I'm backing up. And if we get another chance for a shot.
And we are at 513 meters, so I would imagine
Thank you.
fairly deep for algae. Fairly deep for algae. If that indeed is what it is.
Okay, Rolly, going on.
Okay, there we go.
Hold that.
Octopus Friday. What are the other days? Is there like, I don't know, Green Eyes Tuesday, Sponge
There could be.
Wednesday.
We don't currently have other named days, but
no.
oh, look
we're
at it
gonna
changing
have to
colors.
find out.
Go
Yep.
a little tighter. Sort of walk. Oh, yeah, he is.
So there is a gentleman that we work with a lot at the Smithsonian. His name's Mike Vecchione, and he will be very pleased that we're finding some octopus so early in the dive, or so early in the expedition.
Keep leading him.
Hey, don't take sight.
Octopus Friday.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look how cool.
He is obviously hunting. Pulling out slightly. He's getting out of your lights.
Yeah, I just keep backing up because he just keeps coming towards me.
With the little white spots that he's picking up, it's almost like he's trying to camouflage
against the background.
Yeah,
against the rock.
Right over top of me. So
Okay.
We can either move or I can stop ship.
Roland, you happy with the video you've gotten?
I'm happy.
Okay,
Pilot's
good.
about to move off.
Okay, great.
Let's go full wide roll. Thank you.
Another 10 meters. Yep. Yeah, we're going to have to push ahead here, Joe.
Yeah, let's do that. And I'm pointing the wrong direction. So let's move this way.
Yeah, during that whole
I'm lined up.
octopus tracking,
out
the
your shot
Sirius
straight ahead.
continued to move. So ROV's now
Well, that was entertaining.
headed back
Yeah.
into its
That's
position.
fine. Right off the bat.
Okay, so we're underway again.
I just want to say that I really appreciate that Carl got rid of the current so that piloting isn't near as difficult now as it was earlier in the day.
Hey, Roland, have you had a chance to get lunch? Do you want me to go hunt down some for you? They're really good.
He's on a diet.
Perfect. Okay, just making sure.
Another rock that seems out of place.
Is this another one? Or is it the same one we saw earlier?
This is definitely a different one. This doesn't have the sponges on it the other one did.
So do we have any geologists on the line? Since Patty is currently gone to go get lunch, any geologists you want to take a gander as to
Deb,
what this could be?
Think?
So if we were closer to a continent, we might think it was a drop scale.
It's a rock? What are we talking about?
But why does it look so different?
Why is this rock
Why is this rock there?
No others like it here.
Go ahead, Bridge.
Honestly, I mean, it probably could have
Move
rolled
complete.
off
Pick your
from
bridge.
somewhere else. It's hard to know.
Rolly, let's zoom in on it.
Yeah.
It does look like some of the rocks we actually saw a little bit earlier in the dive.
Right.
See when you zoom in on it now?
There we go. We're zooming
It
in.
really does look like a lot of the stuff we were looking at earlier. That was the more slab-like.
Yeah, Copilot, I got waypoint 3 selected
Are
up
those
here.
little sponges on it?
Yeah, so now what we're looking at are either like, very young sponges, like the ones we saw that were the big kind of fan sponges, or maybe as this rolled down, if it rolled down, in fact, the sponges became detached, and this is all that's left.
330.
But yeah, those are sponges. Those white things are demo sponges.
Keep rotating right.
The ship is stopped.
Probably in the family Pacastrelidae.
Is waypoint 3 the final target?
There's also a squat lobster just off screen.
Waypoint 3 is final target.
Okay.
And Bruce Mundy's pointing out some green eyes again.
Bottom right corner.
Oh, what's that? Is that a
lumpy thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Stand by.
What's that down on the lower right of that rock?
We're headed for that right now.
Oh, it's moving.
Oh, is it an anemone?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The pilots, we have about 260 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dan, can you take my camera, please, and tilt down?
Got it.
Thank you.
Tilting down. How's that?
Good.
Camera back to you.
Copy.
Looks, I'm not sure what it was. It was moving before, kind of like
clenched in.
So, thinking it might be an anemone?
Maybe. Looks a little odd.
Yeah, it does look kind of odd.
Any thoughts on the telecon?
We have a couple of suggestions. One was a gastropod and one was an urchin, but I don't think that's either one of those.
Is that full zoom
Look at that. You can see it moving now. Yeah.
Carl? Oh, no. Just a little bit. Oh, look at your track there.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yes, we're waiting.
It's interesting.
Give it your best
I think
guess.
it could be a possible cushion star, or it looks like you have
okay.
Get lasers on.
Okay, so
maybe Chris
Tina was in the right phylum.
Maybe Chris Ma will join us in a few minutes and enlighten us.
Could also be some type of weird tunicate.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Tina was close. It might be one of those really soft urchins. So not only was she in the right phylum, but she was in the right class.
And Dan, take the camera again.
Got it.
Okay, and again over to the right, we can see those sponges that we've been seeing earlier.
There you go.
Okay. What else?
Okay. Full wide, please, video. All right. Anything else while we're here?
Tara saying shrimp to the left, shrimp to the right. Reminds me of the Jimmy Buffett. Fins to the left, fins to the right.
Looks like you have another coral too.
Yeah. It looks like it might be another bamboo coral.
Something very rectangular in the distance there.
Something very rectangular in the distance. Yes, maybe some human debris.
Yeah. Do you want to zoom that coral, or have we seen those?
I think those are, no, we don't. I don't think we need that. It's a bamboo coral. Thanks.
Okay, pushing on.
Yep, move on.
Push out ahead.
There's looked like something just above, in the same line as that bamboo coral.
It's Copilot.
Looked like a
Copilot.
So with the distance
hi.
we want to cover, what is our average?
Hi, Chris Ma.
pace need to be here?
We were looking at something very cool a few minutes ago.
1 knots. So try again.
How far behind I am with the video. I'm just now seeing the strange cemented ball on the rock.
Okay, you're in. Then that's perfect. That's what we need you to tell us what that strange ball on the rock is.
Looks like a rock.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it was moving.
Cemented, but it looks to me like a sea urchin.
Yes, that's what, yeah, Tina thought that too.
On the top.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've never seen one that had this kind of weird,
I'm going to push on ahead.
kind of light glue.
Right around the edges, I know.
Yeah, but we also don't know a lot about a lot of those weird deep sea irregular urchins. So maybe this is something they do that we just don't know about. Because to me, the distinctive characters are the spines. They have little joints on them, and then there's these big grooves on the top, and those look to me like an irregular urchin, like a spatangoid or something like that. But they're usually moving. So, I'm sorry to not have a better answer, but
there's a star. Have we seen
it looks like an irregular urchin to me, but I don't know why it's not doing what an irregular urchin should. So it's very, it's very mysterious.
So does it look more to you like an urchin than an anemone?
More.
Yeah.
There's actually two. There's one below that sponge.
Anyway,
okay,
congratulations on kicking off the new expedition with such an interesting bunch of critters.
So we've got, thank you, we've got a sea star there.
Oh, we do?
Isn't that beautiful? Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Chris, yeah, don't leave.
Thank you.
Are they? Okay. Come full wide again, I'll settle down. Thank you.
Can we zoom a little bit more to see what the bump is on it?
Yes.
I can't see.
He called that one, didn't he?
It's plugged in.
Try and get settled in here. Dan, can you take the tilt again?
You got it.
Okay, let's go for the lump on the sea star.
The lump on the sea star.
Not quite close up yet, but okay.
Oh, look at that.
It's got spines on it, right?
Yes.
I haven't quite gotten to the zoom yet.
Okay.
I think this is a bentopectinid. Still waiting to see the zoom. I think I'm still a little behind.
And then maybe you can explain to us what that other little bump is on the lower right arm.
It actually almost looks like there's something sitting on top of it.
Yeah, I know.
Can we get any closer than this?
Yeah. So this is a
maybe.
So this is a bentopectinid, which is a group of deep sea asteroids. And what I think that bump is it's a parasite, like either what's called a chirostylid or one of these cirripede barnacle type things, or perhaps a snail, like a eulimid. And basically what they do is they get into the body cavity and they sort of stick their proboscis into the body and they suck the juices out. And so basically the starfish becomes a house for this parasite. And there are actually a number of fairly species-specific animals that do that. A lot of them are barnacle parasites. I'm blanking on the name, but there are several recorded from Hawaii, from Brisingids and other deep-sea asteroids. And they often create large galls like that. There's one in the shallow waters that inhabits a Brisingid. It's an Ascothoracican. They're related. They're a kind of cirripede, a kind of barnacle. Not as unusual as the sort of there's one really dramatically derived type that takes over the body and changes all of the reproductive cells into the parasite's reproduction. And there's one that is more kind of
more zoom roll.
How would you call it?
Good moment to use
it's more barnacle-like.
So, but this one, Chris, looks like it has spines on it too. So, what do you make of that?
Those could be the surface of the animal extruding as the animal is swollen. So what you're seeing there is the surface of the animal itself has the starfish, has a number of spinelets on the surface, and they're not really visible just, when they're flat. But when you've got this large ball on the arm, it's kind of expressed everything outward. So
okay, so what we're seeing there is the surface of right. Okay,
on it.
So what we're
into it, all of the fingers kind of jut outwards, and that's what I think you're seeing here.
So it's almost like a tumor on the arm, and you're seeing the extension. It's kind of like a tumor, not really a tumor, but something on the arm of the star, on the sea star. And what we're actually seeing, that's those spines are actually part of the sea star.
The body wall. Well, that.
Are the spines that we're seeing part of the body of the sea star, then on that bump?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I'm sorry, yeah. So, right, so basically the details would already be there on the surface, but we're not seeing them very clearly. But the fact that you have the animal inside pushing it outward is causing those details to be more pronounced and pushing outward.
Okay, copy, thanks.
So, yeah, that's a parasite. So this is parasitism in the deep sea. I would say it's I don't know exactly, but I would say it's probably some kind of barnacle-like parasite.
Thanks. 30 meters sound good? 330?
Yep.
Okay.
Threes.
Yep, let's go 30.
Moving on. Thank you very much, Chris. That's very interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's really exciting. I'll have to double-check and see whether or not this is actually described.
Pretty much lined up with
the genus of the animal,
ready
the
for another ship move.
itself,
30
looks like
meters, bearing
Chirafter.
330 degrees,
CHEIRAFTER.
Good copy. I'll get it punched in. Stand by.
Thanks, Bridge.
And they're fairly widespread. A lot of these deep-sea starfish occur widely.
Seems like I'm going to stay up here.
They have a number of sharp spines on the surface, and they actually have muscles underneath the surface. It's not entirely clear what they do with them.
Return the head on Sirius, but
thank you, Chris. Yeah.
I'm actually facing being pushed a little bit port. I can come starboard a bit.
Yeah, so maybe on the move after this.
Yeah, we'll readjust.
The next move.
Okay, so we're moving along. Again, seeing a lot of these kind of fan-shaped sponges that we saw at the beginning of the dive, and lithisted sponges as well. Some of the smaller things that are on the rocks are probably some polychaete tubes.
Yeah, getting pushed a little bit by the current here.
It was good, right? The coconut shrimp was pretty good, wasn't it? Did you have some of that?
Video switching out.
Copy that, Raleigh. Thank you.
Yeah? Yes. Yeah.
Lots of critters down here.
Lots of critters. So Bruce was he's seeing some more of the green eyes, and what he was telling us before was that, oh yeah, what's that purple thing down there?
We'll go take a look at the purple.
Yeah, let's take a look at the purple. While we're getting in position for that, Bruce was telling us that the green eyes,
Oh, could those be eggs?
They feed as carnivores on bottom-dwelling invertebrates.
Wow, yeah, you can see on the left-hand side, one of them is really foraging.
That ship move looks.
These fish are fairly common in some of some commercial importance in the Mediterranean as fresh fish, and then in the Eastern Atlantic as fish meal. So
it appears that way. We'll see what
Bruce goes on to tell us that they're green eyes because of their highly reflective green tapetum in the eye, like that of the eyes of a cat. All right, moving along. So this might be Victor Gorgia.
Yeah, please introduce yourself to the back row.
Of course. I'm Tara Smithy. I am a video technician on board and with Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration.
Again, if you're just joining us, you can see those laser dots in the video image. The laser dots are 10 centimeters or about 4.5 inches across. So that gives you an indication of the scale, the size of these animals that we're looking at. Okay. Beautiful.
Oh, you can see the shimmering in the water. I imagine we've got turbulent mixing of